You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, all through the Sweat Lodge. Not a savage was stirring, not even Wade Boggs. The scorecards were hung by the pagoda with care in hopes that Dutch Boy soon would be there. The croppers were listening all snug in headphones while hearing wrong answers that turned into groans. But time was a-wasting, the show must begin, and now it's game time, and I'll throw it to Ken."
Welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge.
And if you didn't get that, I think this is our annual holiday episode, right, guys?
That's right.
That is right.
And Wade Boggs is hosting? I don't understand.
I couldn't think of a rhyme in 5 minutes that rhymed with lodge, so I just went with Wade Boggs.
It's Wade Boggs dressed as-
Eggnog.
Oh, eggnog, you're totally right.
Come on, Neil.
Sorry. I had Wade Boggs' mustache on the
You're
mind.
just
getting
thinking
coal
about
in
Wade
your
Boggs.
stocking.
Who doesn't think about Wade Boggs? That's the real question.
Yeah.
And apologies for my voice. It's a little rough today. I was eating a salad for lunch that had an apple, and I was chewing the apple, and the juice from the apple went down the wrong pipe, and I coughed for about 10 minutes.
That's the most Neil thing I've ever heard. Very fragile.
Very fragile.
That was that Weezer song, right? It's down the wrong pipe.
I was listening to Weezer at the same time, too, which is kind of fun.
Okay.
But everyone else's voice sounds pretty crystal clear to me.
Thanks to all this equipment that Santa gave us.
That is true.
/ patrons.
Yeah, a very good time to talk about this to our patrons. It is the holiday season, the holiday episode, and we're recording this on all brand new microphones, a mixer, headphones, and a brand new computer, all thanks to our patrons. So we're all set to go for the near future to keep growing, I guess, right?
Also, Triviality Claus may have sent all of our patrons something in the mail for them to look out for, so keep an
That is
eye
true.
out.
Yes, keep an eye out. And Ken, how are you feeling this holiday season?
I'm feeling very jolly.
You are feeling jolly.
And I'm ready for this game, to be honest. I'm looking forward to it. I understand it's an especially diverse holiday set of questions this year. We in the studio celebrate Christmas, right, boys?
That's right.
But we want to cater to all celebrations of the winter solstice. Yeah? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, somewhere in
Is
and
that how you
around
would say
there.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a very special guest today.
And our special guest is coming straight from the North Pole. He's even got a salty goatee going on, which is very nice for a very cool-looking Santa. And that's our executive producer on Patreon, James Campbell. How are you, James?
I'm well. Thank you, Neil.
Yes, thank you for being here and taking the time to write this special game. We know you've listened to all the other holiday episodes and made yours the most unique, but why don't you remind people who you are, what you're up to, and any other holiday greetings you'd like to share?
Well, again, happy Christmas, Merry Kwanzaa, joyous Hanukkah. We're going to try and go very global with this. And at the same time, I've tried to incorporate a little bit of science and a little bit of sports as we can with Christmas. And because there's been several holiday games, it's getting a little more challenging, but I've tried to develop a game for you guys that is themed around the solstice holidays, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Wonderful. But first, we need the rules from Santa.
Triviality Podcast is 2 rounds of 20 questions worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there's a special swing round by this week's host. In the final round, players wager points they've earned for a chance to become the cream of the crop.
I'm talking all the way to the top. Yeah.
He sounded very angry and almost like he was from New York.
I also didn't know Santa was Jewish.
He's here for everyone.
Yeah.
That's right. So now we have the rules. We need our teams.
Yeah, I think inspired a little bit by the holidays and some of our favorite holiday songs, and maybe a few things that we need to get through the holidays. Matt and I are going to be All I Want for Christmas is Booze.
Okay. And I'm teaming up with Neal today, and since this team is usually a calamity, right?
Yeah, it is.
So we're going to be the ho-oh-no's.
Wah, wah. I believe we need a wager for this one. Is that what we're doing?
I think
a
so.
little Christmas wager?
Holiday wager.
We haven't done a wager in a long time.
Yeah, but we got to give a gift to our listeners for the holidays.
So it should be like, do we have to mine coal or anything?
It's
or no?
always eating something terrible.
It's always eating something terrible, and I had a great idea because so many of you guys hated the Corin Hines image.
The art that I made for the episode
in quotation
230 whatever.
Corn Hines. The losing team will have to eat the Corn Hines, which is corn on a hot dog bun with Heinz ketchup.
Yeah, we're not going to leave it on the cob, but we'll put corn in a bun with ketchup on
creamed
it.
corn.
And eat it.
Not creamed.
I'll eat cream corn if I lose.
No, it'll be sweet corn from the can.
Okay, sweet corn from the can.
That's right.
Cold.
All right, teams are set, wagers are set. I think it's time for you to take it away.
Is it still appropriate to use ketchup or should it be mustard?
No, it's Corn Heinz. It's a special recipe.
It's a special recipe, like Mama used to make.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure.
My mama might have used to make it because her cooking is
mostly ketchup.
Oh, shots fired around the holiday season.
Corn
she doesn't know how to listen to podcasts, so it's fine.
Can't cook, can't listen to podcasts.
Corn Hines was the 58th and first denied variety, right, Ken?
This show has everything. It has gifts. It's got trivia questions. It's also got family turmoil. Just like every holiday.
Perfect holiday.
All right, James, why don't you take it away?
Question number 1. Karami is a communal feast usually held on the last day of what African American celebration? Normally held from December 26th to January 1, the holiday is generally based on African harvest festival traditions from various parts of the continent.
Well, if it's not the one we're all thinking of, we're all wrong.
Yeah. Based on saying African American specifically, I'm pretty sure it's Kwanzaa, Neal. So I'm pretty sure that was begun, I think, I could be wrong here, but I think it was like in the 60s by influenced by the like Black Panther Party and stuff like that. So we're going to say Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on calendars, and you're a bank guy. You got some bank holidays off for this, right?
Yeah, not for this, sadly. But yeah, we're going to go Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa is correct. It did start in the 60s, or started to be more widely recognized in the 60s. So you're off to a good start. Points for both teams. Merry Christmas. Question 2. Who were the first people to make New Year's resolutions? They didn't resolve to lose weight or exercise more. They told the gods that they would repay debts and return borrowed items. In exchange, they asked for favor from the gods in the coming year. If Hammurabi made such a resolution is unknown.
Man's got to have a code.
So the Hammurabi clue, Neal, I think I know where to zero in on this.
Okay.
So do you have an inkling?
I recognize Hammurabi and I recognize some of the clues in there, but if you feel good about something, I'd rather you lock
I'll
in.
lock it in so these guys can discuss.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is Zoroastrian religion. So I want to say this was the Zoroastrians.
All right, so you guys are saying Zoroastrianism. I thought Hammurabi had something to do with like the Babylonian civilization, so we're saying Babylonians.
Ken and Neal are correct. It was Babylon. So point for the ho-oh-no's on that one.
Great question, too. And Ken, I think you found some information possibly on the origin of Kwanzaa?
Yeah, and while I don't have time to live read this entire article, it does look like it was founded by a major figure in the Black Power movement of the 1960s and 70s.
Yep, and I believe it was by someone named Dr. Karenga.
Question number 3. Speaking of New Year, there are a series of Pacific Island nations that are the first to welcome the start of a new calendar. Can you name any one of the 3?
Did you name a specific Pacific island?
I did name a specific Pacific island.
Okay.
Do you want to go with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to lock in over here.
The fact that there's 3 is interesting, right?
Yeah, so I know that Kiribati is like an island nation group. They changed their date like 10 or 15 or maybe 20 years ago, something like that. So they actually skipped a whole day ahead. So instead of being the last ones,
They're the first?
they're the first. Yeah.
cheated.
So they have like a weird, like if you look at the date line, it's like a weird hammer looking shape sticks out the side of the date line like a few hundred miles. So that Kiribati can be the first to celebrate.
So you're saying Kiribati?
I don't know if that's an island, but let's say Kiribati.
Yeah, let's say it.
Kiribati.
Yeah, as our rules reader, Chris Hansen says, there's actually a lot of chairs on the date line as well to sit in. We over here, we just, the first name we wrote down was Samoa, the island nation of Samoa, and we went with it.
All right, so the three are Tonga, Samoa, and Kiribati. Points all around.
We'll take it.
Feel pretty good about that one. We're all on the same wavelength there, so.
So I tried to get a holiday geography question, and that was a little bit of a challenge, but I got one.
I'll take it.
Question 4. What 18th century cartoonist is credited with the creation of the modern version of Santa Claus, as well as the elephant as a representation of the Republican Party? He didn't create, but popularized the use of Uncle Sam, the Democratic donkey, and Columbia as the personification of American values. Because of the similarity of his name, he has also been erroneously thought to be the origin of an English word meaning dirty, filthy, or a contemptible person.
Matt and I looked at each other. He wrote down something I think is a good answer, and we're going to lock in.
All right, anything jumping out to you, Neil? I don't know any 1700s cartoonists.
I don't either. I'm just trying to...
End statement.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of vocabulary with the end statement there. So like scoundrel, but that doesn't sound like a person's name. Vagabond.
Doofus.
Yeah. Idiot. I don't think it's like...
Dumas.
Thomas Idiot.
Do you want to just say Swift?
Swift? Okay.
For Jonathan Swift?
Sure.
Is that the name, Jeff?
That is a person,
That's
yes.
the author. That's
That
what
is
we're
an
going to
author.
say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've been watching a lot of Love Island on Netflix.
So this is how you got your answer?
Very British. And, when there's a man who's contemptible, they'll often call him a scoundrel. So I think it might be scoundrel. So we locked in with that.
A contemptible person might be referred to as nasty. The cartoonist in question is Thomas Nast.
Nast. Yeah.
Like Condé Nast.
Like who?
Condé Nast.
Condé Nast, the magazine, yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
No points for either team on that one. Question 5. The Lantern Festival is a celebration held usually in February or March and marks the final day of what annual celebration?
Oh, I forgot the name of the celebration.
Matt right away kind of perked his ears up at that question, and I kind of remember talking about on this podcast some sort of Thai holiday.
Oh, right.
Do you kind of remember that?
Yes,
but I don't remember at all what it's
and
called.
I was hoping that the question would be, what country is it in?
So that's as far as I could get. So let's lock in with your answer, Neil.
Okay.
I think it's a balloon fest. Is it?
Okay.
I feel like they throw balloons are full of alcohol, and there's a lot of drinking.
This sounds great.
There's a lot of drinking. That's what I recall.
That's true of most fests around the world.
I believe it's in Thailand.
Okay.
But I think it's a balloon fest, but I don't know if that's right. But we can, festival.
The one with the balloons.
Yeah, I don't have anything better than that. I'm pretty sure you're right about Thailand, but I can't remember.
Festival of balloons.
Yeah, and we knew that Chinese New Year comes after our New Year, so we thought maybe that time period was right for Chinese New Year.
Ken and Neal are correct. It is Chinese New Year. That is the last day of the Chinese New Year.
We all overthought it.
Yeah, what am I thinking of?
I'm on
the
fire.
balloon thing.
I'm making up festivals.
After swallowing or apple juice down the wrong pipe, I feel my gut is correct today. And after 5 questions, it looks like the Ho-Oh-Nos are at 40 points, and narrowly behind them is All I Want for Christmas is Booze with 20.
It's because we got that strange deer leading our sleigh, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, we just picked him up. He was hitchhiking with his antler, and it turned out to be
pointing his head that way.
Yeah, turned out to be a good pick.
Let me tell you, this Balloon Fest does look lit, just so you guys know. And it does exist.
It is most certainly lit, I'll tell you that.
Question number 6. The dreidel is a child's toy that is used at Hanukkah. It is a spinning top that can land on any of its 4 sides, each imprinted with a Hebrew letter, Nun, Gimel, Hey, or Shin. The letters stand for the phase Nes Gado Haya Sham, meaning a great miracle happened here. In the game, each player starts out with 10 to 15 gelt, or candy pieces. With each spin of the dreidel, a different action is taken. There are 4 things that can happen. If you can name 2, you will get credit. If you get all 4, you get 5 bonus pieces of gelt. You get 4 guesses.
So you have to cut off your little finger, right?
This is a
intense dreidel. Extreme dreidel.
It's the
now on sweep season, NBC, extreme dreidel.
It's like the deer hunter of dreidel.
I think I missed this episode of Squid Game, so I don't remember.
Extreme
how this is played.
dreidel mob edition.
Yeah.
Okay, so the song goes dreidel, dreidel, dreidel.
They made it out of clay, right?
Dreidel, dreidel,
It's more
dreidel.
about the construction of the dreidel.
And how do you play?
Is it?
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
The second verse is when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel, I will play. But we still haven't gotten to the game.
They don't tell you how to play. Maybe they get
lighting candles.
Maybe they
eating
get
bread.
Maybe they get a treat for one. They get a treat.
Yeah. Is this like Monopoly? Do you win when you have all of the gelt?
Yeah, I think
so
you go
gelt
to jail
needs to be exchanged.
or you pass go.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think get a treat is one of them.
Sure. And then maybe like exchange gelt, or you have to like give gelt up or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass the gelt on the right hand side.
Are you guys done?
No.
That was insane. So if you got the candy, I'm assuming it's a gambling game. So we said give a piece of candy to the left, give a piece of candy to the right, give a piece of candy to everybody, and then the last would be collect a piece from everybody.
All right. And did Matt and Jeff come up with anything ultimately in that?
We said you can get a treat or you can pass one of your candies to the right hand side.
All right. I'm going to give credit there to the Ho-Oh-No's. The 4 options are you do nothing, you take the entire pot, you take half the pot, or you have to put in or give in one. So I think they did get 2 of those, so I'm going to give them 10 points for that.
I would contest. I want the points, but it's the holidays, and I have to contest that is not.
That is unearned.
Well, I say it's the giving season, so give them 10 points.
I say, oh ho no.
Oh. Okay, fine. No points.
Okay,
Bah
no
humbug.
points either way. Bah humbug. All right, question 7. Speaking of Hanukkah, the story tells of the miracle where the oil burned for 8 nights when there was only enough for 1. The story is preserved in what 2 books which share the same name? In other words, they are the books of the first and second what? The books are canonical scripture in Catholic, Orthodox, and Oriental Orthodox churches, but not by Protestant or major branches of Judaism where they are considered apocryphal.
This was not in the Rugrats special that I watched.
Yeah.
What about Deuteronomy?
That's in the Bible, so I don't.
Well,
The Protestant version.
Yeah.
oh yeah. And there's the King James Bible.
First and second.
So James is probably in there.
And it's not even in like the Torah. I'm at a loss.
Well, that is a thing.
It is, but I don't think he said it was. He said it was in some sects apocryphal, so I'm not sure. I doubt it's separate. I would think
that
it's
seems
separate.
like that's not that.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't want to make a stupid guess.
Yeah, I think we're at a loss on this one. So Matt and I are going to just lock in with a whiff.
All right. We are just going to guess the book of David.
David would be a good guess, but these are the First and Second Maccabees.
Oh.
The books of First and Second Maccabees.
I did know that from the Rugrats special.
Yeah, I was like, they do say that they're the Maccabees, right?
The Maccababies got to do it. A Maccababies got to do it.
Matt, Rugrats would have come in clutch.
I know. Damn it.
No swearing on the holidays.
Dang it.
Question number 8. What scientist born on Christmas Day, 1642, according to the Julian calendar in use at the time? He was described as a natural philosopher during his life, but he is now recognized as one of the greatest mathematicians, physicists, and most influential scientists of all times. Perhaps as a birthday Christmas treat, he received cookies that were made by wrapping mashed fruit in a dry pastry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Matt, for sure.
We're locked in.
I've got this.
It's Kolachki.
No, I believe the hint is supposed to lead you to fig.
Oh.
So Neil,
so
you know your pastries, right?
Yes, I do.
But I was certain that this was Sir Isaac Newton before that. First, I can't remember what his title was at the Royal Sciences
Academy.
First science guy.
they called him Newton, the science guy. Yeah, we said Newton.
Isaac Newton is correct. Points for both teams.
All right, we got a science.
And again, when he was born on Christmas. By the time that he passed away, they'd changed calendars, so his birthday was substantially altered on that, but he was born on the Julian Christmas in 1642. Question number 9 is a sports question. The longest game in NFL history was a divisional playoff game played in 1971. It was held on Christmas Day, and the game lasted more than 7 hours. It went into double overtime and finally ended with a 37-yard field goal. The winning team of that game went on to lose Super Bowl VI. Can you name either of the two teams involved?
All right, we're going to lock in over here so Jeff and Matt can talk.
So I'm thinking 71 is in the terrible towel years of the Steelers, right? When they were winning?
I want to say they were
later than that.
Early or mid 70s, possibly.
Yeah. So I think 71 might have been, I think it might have been an AFC team
Like
winning the Super Bowl.
Was Jets? Was that when the Jets were good? Like
Jets,
Mean Joe
Chiefs,
Green or
maybe like that. So this is probably an NFC team.
Okay.
Would you say, I would think either the Packers or
they were in quite a few of the first ones.
Or maybe even the Cowboys at this point.
Were the Cowboys good then? I remember they were big in like the 80s. That was when they were really
70s
dominant, right?
60s they had
that was when they had
Bart Gunn, maybe. I don't remember his name.
No, who's that? Who's their quarterback?
Roger Staubach.
Yeah, Staubach.
Yeah. But you want to go Cowboys?
Yeah, we can go Cowboys.
All right. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, we were talking this over, and I was just trying to think of teams that have like a long history. Initially, I wanted to say like Packers and Cowboys, but I kind of went to AFC, and I was thinking between like the Browns because they were in a lot of like long games, snowy games, like stuff like that with Jim Brown. But I know Don Shula was really prevalent in that time period, and so we went with the Dolphins.
That's good, guys.
The Miami Dolphins defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in that game.
Chiefs were my other guess.
And the Dolphins went on to lose Super Bowl VI to the Cowboys, and then they won the next two.
I figured it was Cowboys or one of them. I just went the other way.
Oh yeah, because it would have been AFC.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's awesome.
Question number 10. During the age of stop motion animation, several Christmas shows were produced, including Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. In 1970, Santa Claus is Coming to Town was released. Mickey Rooney was the voice of the adult Kris Kringle, and Keenan Wynn played the Winter Warlock. What famous dancer and crooner was the voice of the narrator?
We can lock in over here.
Man.
It's the Singing in the Rain guy. He sang Singing in the Rain. It's not Fred Astaire, is it? No.
Oh, yeah. I think it's Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I kind of can see that in the credits.
Yeah, we're locked in with Fred Astaire.
Okay. You know what? I think they might have gotten that right now that I think about it, because if the narrator's the guy in the ball cap and like the coal on his face with the suit jacket, then that's definitely Fred Astaire. I was thinking of the snowman narrator, who was
Burl Ives?
voiced by Burl Ives.
That might have been for Rudolph.
Yeah, I think we might have mixed up our animation there. So we went Burl Ives, though.
Fred Astaire is the correct answer.
Oh.
Good job, guys.
Unfortunately,
Burl
not in
Ives.
Singing in the Rain, but that's Gene Kelly.
Oh, that's yes, right
Good
for
thing
the
we were
wrong
wrong.
reason.
And Burl Ives was the narrator for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
What I was trying to think of with Isaac Newton earlier is he was one of the first and most famous presidents of the Royal Society.
Oh.
But I think he was like the 12th president or something like that.
Well, speaking of Royal Society, after 10 questions, it looks like the Ho-Onos are on their way to being crowned king with 60 points, and right behind them are All I Want for Christmas is Booze with 40. And before we get to the swing round, just wanted to thank James one more time for being a Patreon supporter. He's at our executive producer level, and it truly means a lot, but we just wanted to let everyone else know that this is going to be a very special new year for us. We're going to try and continue to grow, and it's all thanks to the help of our patrons. If you'd like to listen to some more bonus audio content, get some extra perks like stickers and boxes and things of that nature, and then hopefully some video episodes or streaming opportunities over on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And thank you again, James, too, for supporting the show for so long.
Well, and thank you guys for everything you do and keeping us all entertained and helping us out during those long travels that we go on.
Yeah, and while we do appreciate our executive producer level patrons, you can support us for as little as $1 a month. And if everybody did that, just $1, we'd be made in the shade.
That's true. And if you want the bonus audio content, that has to be at the Oakland 5 level or higher, but you can still support us at anything as low as $1 a month.
I mean, $1 a month
Thank
from
you all.
all of our listeners would allow us to do this full time. And who knows what kind of shenanigans we'd get up to then.
All right, what do you have for the swing round?
The swing round is a food round. I'm going to give you 10 countries in alphabetical order, and then I'm going to read to you 10 holiday dishes that are from one of those 10 countries. And you have to match the country to the dish. Your 10 countries alphabetically are Canada, France, Israel, Italy, Mexico, the Philippines, Russia, Spain, Sweden, and Ukraine. And I will apologize in advance, and I will apologize in retrospect for any words that I've mispronounced. Number 1, Bûche de Noël, which is a sheet cake rolled up with cream filling and then frosted and decorated to look like a Yule log. Number 2, Shuba, and this one sounds delicious. A cake of pickled herring, hard-boiled eggs, mayonnaise, and grated vegetables on top, including carrots, beets, potatoes, and onions. Bibinka, Bibingka. Served for breakfast, it is rice flour or sticky rice, coconut milk, sugar, and water wrapped and cooked in banana leaves. Eggs, cheese, and coconut flakes are added as garnish.
That sounds better than the previous.
Slightly.
You don't like the herring?
Number 4, butter tarts. Small pastry cups baked with a sweet filling made of butter, sugar, maple syrup, eggs, and sometimes walnuts and raisins. Number 5, latkes. A Hanukkah treat, potatoes grated with onion, eggs, and breadcrumbs or matzah, deep fried in hot oil. Number 6, Jansen's Frestelist, Fretelse. It is a casserole dish made from potatoes, onions, heavy cream, breadcrumbs, and sprats, a small oily fish similar to sardines. Kutia, Kutia. This is a Christmas Eve dish, normally the first of 12 vegetarian dishes commemorating the 12 apostles, made from cooked wheat berries, poppy seeds, dried fruit, and honey. Number 8. Pozole, chicken or pork stew with white, green, or red broth and hominy, topped with cabbage, lime, cilantro, or radishes, depending upon the region, normally served on Christmas Eve. Galettes, Galets, huge pasta shells, normally stuffed with mincemeat and eaten floating around in a meaty soup. Number 10. Bacala, to add to the confusion with baklava and balaclava. This is a salt-cured cod that is soaked in water for at least 48 hours, changing the water at least 3 times per day. The skin is then peeled off and the bones removed before being prepared in a number of different ways.
And we'll be right back after we mull these over with some mulled wine. And we are back from our deliberations. So let's think about these foods. Some delicious, some not so much. Let's get the countries one more time, and we'll say what food. We'll try to say what food.
Are you saying there's not enough fish on this list for you?
I'm saying there's too much.
Okay, I'm going to read the food, and then you guys give me what country you had for it.
Oh, very well.
Right. Bûche de Noël. It was a sheet cake rolled with cream and made to look like a piece of wood.
For that one, we put France, because de means of in French.
Matt, I can't remember if we changed our minds on this one. Did we go France for this one, or
We went Spain because de means of.
All right. And Bûche de Noël is from France. Ken and Neal, the Ho-Oh-Nos, got that one correct for 5 points. Question number 2. Shuba, a cake of pickled herring, hard-boiled eggs, mayonnaise, topped with carrots, beets, potatoes, and onions. What did you have for that one?
For that one, we went with Sweden because Shuba sounds like it could be an IKEA piece of furniture, and we know they love their pickled herring.
We use that logic somewhere else on this list. We went with the Ukraine for this one.
No points on that one. Shuba is Russian. The beets kind of give that one away a little bit. Number 3, bibinka. It is a breakfast with sticky rice, coconut milk, wrapped in banana leaves, topped with eggs, cheese, and coconut flakes. Where did you think that one came from?
Based on the ingredients and also a bit on the name, we went with Philippines.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this was mentioned in a recent Try Guys video when they were talking about Asian foods. So we said the Philippines.
Philippines is correct. Points for both teams. Number 4, the butter tarts. Small pastry cups with sweet filling of butter, sugar, maple syrup, eggs, and sometimes walnuts or raisins. What country do you think that one came from?
If maple syrup is a red herring, it definitely got us, but we went with Canada.
Better than a pickled herring.
Yeah, if this one is in Canada, I will no longer read answers.
You can continue to read answers.
Okay,
It was
good.
Canada. Number 5, latkes, a Hanukkah treat, potatoes grated with onions, eggs, and breadcrumb, deep fried in oil.
So this one, we unfortunately said Russia.
If it's a Hanukkah treat, we guessed Israel.
Israel is the correct answer. All I Want for Christmas is Booze gets the 5 points on that one.
Yeah, they're delicious. Potato pancakes, basically. Good stuff.
Number 6, Jansen's Fritistas. And again, I apologize to all the people who speak that language. I'm afraid I do not. A casserole dish made from potatoes, onions, heavy cream, breadcrumbs, and sprats, a small oily fish similar to sardines.
Yep, we said Ukraine on this one, but now maybe it's Sweden, but Ukraine.
Yeah, this one we thought maybe it's Janssen's actually, but we were going with Sweden.
Sweden is the Janssens' favorite there. So points again for All I Want for Christmas is Booze. Number 7, kutia, Christmas Eve dish, the first of 12 vegetarian dishes made from cooked wheat berries, poppy seeds, dried fruit, and honey.
For this one, I believe we said Spain.
Yeah, we didn't really know on this one. We just guessed Italy.
That one is from the Ukraine.
Mm.
The Ukrainians do 12 vegetarian dishes on Christmas Eve.
Good to know.
I'll be heading over.
Question number 8. Pozole, chicken or pork stew with white, green, or red broth and hominy, topped with all sorts of delicious things as well. A Christmas Eve dish. What did you have for that?
We had to go with Mexico.
Yep, this one 100% Mexico.
Points for both teams. That is a very traditional Mexican dish. Number 9, galettes. Huge pasta shells stuffed with mincemeat and eaten floating around in a meaty soup.
All right, that's got to be Italy.
Yep. We already used up our Italy, so I think we said Spain.
I don't know why we didn't go with Italy.
I don't know why we didn't go with a few of
pasta
these,
with meat
honestly.
sauce.
Yeah.
Well, Matt and Jeff didn't go with Italy. They went with the right answer instead. That is a Spanish dish.
Oh,
Yay. That's why we went with it,
Yeah.
obviously.
Tricked you.
And we get down to number 10, the final one, bacala, not to be confused with baklava or balaclava. It is a salt-cured cod that they do incredible things with. So that leaves us with the last answer. What did you guys each have?
yeah, it must be Italy, but unfortunately we didn't say that. We said Israel. Bacala does sound Italian.
Yeah, we said it was Russian.
It is Italy by process of elimination. So bacala is Italian.
After the swing round, it looks like the team of All I Want for Christmas is Booze is picking up 30 points, bringing their total to 70, but still narrowly in the lead are the Ho-Onos picking up 20, bringing their total to 80.
Strong move.
And going on to round 2, question number 1. Washington Crossing the Delaware is a famous painting by Emanuel Lutz depicting the daring raid of the general made on the night of December 25th, 1776. From what state did Washington depart with his men, and in what state did they battle and defeat the Hessian forces?
All right, we are locked in.
All right, so the Delaware River
Yes.
is, I think it's pretty north on the eastern.
Yeah, somewhat north. I don't think it's Delaware in the answer here.
No.
But you did write Pennsylvania and New York, and I think Pennsylvania might be right, but I think it might have been a little further south, maybe New Jersey.
And I'm not sure if these states are touching, but I hope they are, because they make a good couple. We're going to say Maryland and Connecticut. Not touching.
They're not.
Okay.
All I Want for Christmas is Booze did finally get the right answer. It was from Pennsylvania to New Jersey.
Not
You
bad.
tied it up.
New Jersey was the one that put it on their quarter
Oh,
when they did the state
that's
borders.
right.
Question number 2. Diwali is a festival of lights celebrated between mid-October and mid-November, depending upon the calendar. It is one of the most popular festivals for what religion? Diwali symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance.
I'm ignorant because I know this from The Office. And
Yeah, me too.
I think Jeff does too. And I think we're all locked in.
Well, I do know that it has to do with Shiva, right?
Mhm.
Defeating someone else. Is that how that goes?
Yeah.
I can't
Just
remember what
answer.
I can't remember what Dwight says, but yes, we said this is a Hindu holiday.
Yes, we do as well.
Hindu is correct. That is the main one. I would have also given you credit for Jainis, Sikhs, and a few Buddhists celebrate it, but primarily it is Hindu. So points for everyone. Question number 3. Depicting events that occurred from December 23rd to December 26th of 1914, what opera by Kevin Putz and Mark Campbell tells the story of the Christmas truce during World War I? This happened between French and Scottish soldiers on one side and German soldiers on the other. Both sides stopped fighting and met in no man's land, shared their provisions with one another, held a mass, and then took time to help each other bury their fallen soldiers. The opera shares its name with a very well-known Christmas carol. Putz was named the Pulitzer Prize winner in music for the work.
I know there's a movie that depicts this, and I know the title of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the title of the opera.
It might be, Neil.
All
think
right, we are locked in.
Matt, my gut tells me maybe Silent Night, as there was no warring going on. They weren't bombing or
all is
shooting.
Calm, all is
bright.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, the next verses in that song depict the birth of Jesus.
Yes, but it was a silent night.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Silent Night.
We too said Silent Night.
Points for everyone. It is Silent Night. And if you ever have an opportunity, even if you're not an opera fan, it is absolutely a beautiful production to go see. Very moving. Question number 4. Epiphany is the Greek and Russian Orthodox Church's celebration of Christmas. For various reasons, it is held later than Christmas celebrated by other Christians. On what day is Epiphany usually celebrated?
We can lock in.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you know this?
It came up once in trivia.
Okay. So what do you think? Early January?
Yeah, I'm guessing it would have to be January, right? So it's not too far from.
So let's say
Christmas.
January 12th. Who knows?
I think you're
Jeff knows.
close, but I think it's January 6th, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, in fact, January 6th. It is the last of the 12 days of Christmas, usually.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 5. The Yule goat was a Christmas symbol dating back to ancient pagan festivals. But since 1966, the tradition got a whole new life with the idea to make a giant straw goat more than 42 feet high, 23 feet wide, and weighing 3.6 tons. To what northern country would you travel to see this amazing sight?
I don't know if I would travel for this particularly, but we're locked in.
I wasn't really getting anything off of the question itself, Matt. Do you have any ideas?
I don't think there were really any clues in it. It's just one of those things. If you know it, you know it. It's a northern country, big straw, wicker man, wicker goat.
Not the bees.
Not the bee.
When I think of well, I don't know if like Germany's northern, but when I think of like pagan traditions or like Saturnalia, I think of like Great Britain, and I know like
maybe Finland, maybe some Scandinavian.
That is definitely
countries.
north.
Yeah,
I would travel to Finland for this if it was in Finland.
That's why they're so happy, because of the goat burning thing.
Oh, every year it cleanses all the bad vibes. So you want to go Finland?
Sure.
All right, Finland it is.
And we're saying Norway on a guess.
You went right in between it and split the uprights. It's Sweden.
Okay. After 5 questions in the second round, All I Want for Christmas is Booze was almost perfect, but they ended up just picking up 40 more points, bringing their total to 110. And the Ho Onos only picked up 20 more points, bringing them to 100 and sacrificing that lead.
We're slipping.
I just Googled big wicker goat, and there are a lot of weird things on Etsy. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Don't just search wood on Etsy. You will not get what you think you want.
All right.
All right, question number 6. The poinsettia derives its English name from Joel Roberts Poinsett, who is credited with introducing the plant to the U.S. in the 1820s. Poinsett was the first U.S. minister to what country where he observed the plants?
We're locked in.
So I believe this is a Central American or...
Yes, I think
is it Mexico?
I think it might be Mexico, actually. When you said that...
Technically North America, but...
It jogged something in my memory. I believe you would think they'd come from somewhere else, but they just come right below the border in Mexico.
Right, Mexico it is.
I believe I had written this question for the first or second Christmas episode or something similar, where I did some research into Poinsett, and I believe he was the minister to Mexico. So that's what we'll lock in with.
Mexico is correct.
All
You
right.
both get points on that one. Question number 7. Mistletoe is a plant, but it isn't a tree, it isn't a shrub, and it isn't a flower. What kind of plant is it? Perhaps the kind that could win an Academy Award.
We're gonna lock in. We've got a guess.
All right, so I'm guessing this is some sort of wordplay. Is it a film or is it like one of the categories that we're going to be referencing here? I was thinking a vine, but that doesn't really make sense with the clue.
Right.
All right, do you want to stick with vine? Because I can't really get anything with the clue here without taking too much time.
Okay.
Well, my first thought was Bush, but then I didn't remember if George Bush had won any Academy Awards.
I don't think he did. But funny enough, I think it's an actress.
Mm-hmm.
And I think not only did she win an Academy Award, but funny enough for the answer, I think she also won a Razzie in the same year. We're going to go Barry.
That was going a little too far back, and Neal started just a little too far back as well. It's a parasite.
Oh, wow.
It lives on other trees.
It's like the
excellent question.
It's like the mono of bushes or something.
It's not a bush.
Or mono of parasites.
Question number 8. Sinterklaas is the Dutch name for St. Nicholas, and children leave a shoe by the chimney or back door for him to leave treats. Unlike our Santa Claus, Sinterklaas doesn't wear a red stocking cap, but what type of headwear?
Fedora.
A gimp mask.
Ska punk Santa.
No, I don't
Oi,
want to wear
oi.
leather, please. Santa Claus, please.
Do we have a real answer? Do you know?
I kind of see him in a stocking cap like Santa, but I don't think that's obviously wrong.
Yeah.
All right, we just have a guess here, so we're going to lock in and let these guys talk.
Maybe like not like a top hat. What would a chimney sweep wear? Like a bowler?
A bowler is interesting. In the sense it's wrong.
Oi, got your presents, eh?
Or like a newsboy cap.
Get your presents. Extra. We don't know, right? So why not just a top hat? He's a classy Santa.
Yeah, right.
Top hat
Keep
and
it
monocle.
classy
Yeah.
Christmas.
Keep it classy, Santa.
Today's front page, Moida. Yeah, I think it's like the Pope hat. I don't know the name of the Pope hat, but for lack of a better term, because I couldn't figure it out, we just said crown of some sort.
I'm not going to give you credit for crown. I would have given you credit for Pope hat. It's actually called a mitre. He wears a red mitre or a
He
bishop's
really does?
cap.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I think I knew that from looking up stuff about Dutch Boy, and I just didn't know what it was called. But
Question number 9. Although Christmas is a time for giving, what famous thief was born on December 25th, 1958? During his 23-year Major League Baseball career, he stole 1,406 bases and was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2009.
we can lock in over here.
I know who stole a lot of bases, but is not allowed in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
So I'm out.
That would be your only guess?
I'm trying to think.
I think that if he were in this room right now, Ricky Henderson would say that Ricky Henderson would be the person who would steal the most, because Ricky Henderson was very proud of Ricky Henderson. I think we can lock in with Ricky Henderson.
We also said Ricky Henderson.
Points for both teams. It was Ricky Henderson, who was born on Christmas, 1958. And the last question in round 2. Because it is in the Southern Hemisphere, most families gather for a cookout called a braying on Christmas in what country? And that's spelled Braaaing. Marinated steaks and Boer Wars sausages serve as the main course, followed by a dessert of malva pudding served with a custard.
All right, we will go ahead and lock in here.
Are we guessing Australia?
I think they're big on boar. Big boar guys.
Could be. Yeah, the only other big, yeah. I was trying to
Maybe
think of,
New Zealand. Maybe.
I was like New Zealand, South Africa.
I think
I'm
it's
just trying
in
to
that
think of
region.
other. Yeah, okay.
But I think based on the amount of questions we ask about our good friends from Australia, I think we can lock in with Australia.
You owe them one? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you throw them a bone.
Yeah, we're throwing them a second bone.
You call it a bone?
This is a
Jeff,
bone. We got you, Jeff.
Jeff actually said it at one point in time. It is South Africa.
Oh.
The pudding sounded like it could be like of South African origin to me.
Well, what do Australians do on Christmas? Why don't you guys write into us and let us know what you guys do on Christmas?
They're on the beach
In
because
fact,
like 90 degrees.
everybody who lives in another country, maybe tell us what you do on Christmas.
Yeah, put it in the show notes. Send a picture, put a post about what you do so we can learn about your culture. Looks like
Not even just Christmas.
Well, it could be any holiday.
Any
what are you
celebration.
doing? Just show us.
You won't be able to put it in the show notes, Neil, because that's only on when we put up a podcast. But you know where you can put it is on the crop on Facebook or on our Discord. So if you need to know where to find that, reach out to us. We can send you an invitation to Discord. But if you're on Facebook, follow us on Facebook if you don't already. Sign up to be a part of the crop private group. We put a lot of great stuff in there, including that's where our sign-up sheets go. So if you want to know how to get onto the show, you got to follow us on the crop because that's where it's all taking place.
And at the end of regulation, both teams only picked up 20 points in the second half of the second round, which means the totals going into the final are 120 for the Ho-Onos and narrowly ahead at 130. All I Want for Christmas is Booze.
Time for that Christmas miracle, Neil.
I know our history says that it's not going to be a miracle today in the final round for us, Ken, but we'll try.
The Christmas miracle I'm praying for is that this is where the game ends, and Matt and I have won, so we'll just celebrate now.
But unfortunately, we need to get some categories.
Your categories for the final are as follows: romance and chicken, high holidays, presidential trivia, mascots, Christmas comics.
And all the wagers are now locked in. Looks like 20s was on the brain for everybody, so all the questions are worth 20 points today.
Question number 1. Romance and chicken. Christmas Eve is the most romantic holiday of the year in what country? Couples book dinners at romantic restaurants and stores sell romantic Christmas gifts. All of the streets are decorated to perfection to embody this most romantic day. And what better way to celebrate the day after that? Much romance, but with deep fried bird. Question 2. Hanukkah gets a lot of attention because of its proximity in time to Christmas. But what Day of Atonement is the holiest day of the year in Judaism? It also gave its name to a short war in October of 1973 between Israel and a coalition of Arab states led by Egypt and Syria. Question 3, Presidential Trivia. On December 24, 1923, President Calvin Coolidge pushed the button to light the first national Christmas tree to grace the grounds of the White House. It was the first White House tree to have electric lights as well in red, white, and blue. The tree came from what state? The home of the president. Number 4. The Stanford tree, which has been called, quote, a demented Christmas tree, end of quotation, is the unofficial mascot of the university as a whole, but is the mascot of what group at the school? And finally, question 5, Christmas comics. 2005's Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santron from Marvel Holiday Special Number 1 tells the story of a young woman who built a functional Santa Claus robot. However, when activated, it turns out the robot was an old Ultron robot. Who does the robot try to kill in the story?
All right, we will think about these and we'll be right back.
And we're back with our answers. It looks like everyone's betting 20 points, as Ken said before. So if we all tie on all these questions, the All I Want for Christmas is Booze is going to win. But whoever gets the most questions right is going to be the winner. So
it's generally
see how it
good strategy is to get more right than the other team.
Question number 1, romance and chicken. Christmas Eve is the most romantic holiday of the year in what country? Followed by a day in which they eat deep-fried bird.
We're saying that's Japan.
Yeah, the Valentine's Day of Japan is Christmas, and we locked in Japan.
Points for both teams. It is Japan, and they celebrate the day after by going to KFC. Question 2, high holidays. Hanukkah gets a lot of attention, but what is the Day of Atonement, the holiest day of the year in Judaism, that also lent its name to a short war in October of 73? All I Want for Christmas, what do you have for that one?
This one we're pretty sure is Yom Kippur.
Yep, I think Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur is correct. 20 points for both teams again. Presidential trivia. December 24th of 23, Calvin Coolidge pushed the button to light the first national tree with red, white, and blue lights. The tree came from his home state. What was Silent Cal's home state? Ho-Oh knows.
This is just a toss-up. We're pretty sure he was a northerner, though, and we said New York.
Fairly certain of that. Very reserved guy. Not the kind of person I associate coming from this state, which is why I think it's stuck in my mind. We said Vermont.
All I Want for Christmas is Booze got that one right. He was from Vermont, 190 for them now. Mascots. The Stanford tree, which has been called a demented Christmas tree, is the unofficial mascot of the University of Hull. But what is the group that it is the mascot for? Ho-Oh knows. What did you have?
Pretty sure I've seen video of the tree marching alongside the Stanford marching band.
Yeah, the group most known for a little preemptive celebration and storming the field. We're pretty sure this is the marching band.
It is the Stanford band's mascot, picked up by the rest of the university, but it is the band's. So it all comes down to this final question. 2005's Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santron from Marvel Holiday Special Number 1 tells the story of a woman who built a robot that turned out to be an old Ultron robot. Who does the robot try and kill in the story? All I Want for Christmas is Booze. What did you have?
This was a real tough one. We went through pretty much every MCU hero you could think of. And it just came down to who do you think would face off against an evil Santa robot? And the only person I could think that would defend Christmas with valor would be Captain America. So we said Captain America.
And for us, we think Ultron is super calculating and obviously programmed. So if he was programmed to be Santa, there can be only one. So we said he's going after the real Santa.
Unfortunately, it was the Avengers. So no points for either team on that one.
We could have 1/5 of a point. Is that how it works? No?
Well, 20% of 20 is what, 4?
I don't know. No point.
Well, it looks like it didn't shake out too well for us over at the Ho-Oh knows.
Coal in our stocking.
Coal in our stocking.
Again.
Oranges. Oranges are okay, but definitely a lot of coal. We ended the game with 140 points, and we'll be sucking down some Kornheinz pretty soon. But today's cream of the crop with 190 points, the All I Want for Christmas is Booze.
I am the cream of the crop, and don't forget it, Dutch boy.
And now we celebrate with what we wanted from Christmas.
I know. I think Santa will be very nice to us this year.
Cheers. And cheers to James. Thank you for that excellent holiday game. We really appreciate it.
You are always very welcome. Thank you for having me back.
Got to say, I think you did a nice job balancing, different traditions and holidays and bringing us around the world. I particularly liked the food-inspired swing round.
And coming up with some new stuff to talk about, too, on these increasingly difficult holiday specials.
Well, I wanted to highlight some things from all points on the globe and different people who don't necessarily celebrate Christmas and get those in as well. And then at the same point in time, try and get some more regular trivia that I could just tie back to Christmas. So hopefully it worked out and everyone will enjoy it.
Yes, wonderful. And we wish you the happiest of holidays as well. Any final words before we fly off in our sleighs?
No, as we end one year and begin the next, I wish you all nothing but joy and happiness in 2022. And for all of us, perhaps a big leap toward more normality as we all strive to come back together and hopefully not reinfect one another.
I think we're off to a good start. I mean, we had this excellent game to pretty much wrap up the year. Matt got his booze, and I know what I got for Christmas, which was an entire Christmas-themed game without Neal doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger Jingle All the Way impression.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen.
And that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you to all of our listeners. Happy holidays to you guys as well. For James, Jeff, Matt, Neal, and myself, happy holidays to all, and to all a Triviality.